Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans, by fans, with your hosts, Jesse Martin.
Because 90% of them are wrong. They're fucking wrong.
Max Taman.
You've got a plate of shit and you've got a bowl of shit. They're the same thing.
Scott Hartley.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah.
John Taman.
What the hell was I talking about?
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And now, the world's worst podcast host, John Taman.
Hey everybody, well, welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, 1 Point Safety Show, and Bunker Mashup. And of course, all three of us represent at least all three of those shows in that regard. We're not sure where Burroughs is, and we're not sure where Scouse is, and really, who cares at this point, because everybody here is just completely despondent. However, two of us are ready to throw themselves off the cliff. Over here, my good friend from Southeast Virginia, Jesse Martin. Please give me your first thoughts on the football game today, please.
Bullshit.
There you go. Scott, how about you?
Bullshit.
It was a tough loss, John. That's all it is. It's a tough loss. That's a really, really tough loss.
You know, it was there for the taking sometimes. There were opportunities there. The way I look at it is that it came down to Russell Wilson, highly regarded quarterback, up, in my opinion, on a Hall of Fame track prior to his fucking stint in Denver. Hard counting a rookie who's in his, fourth game? You got Jazir Newton?
Yeah.
Third game? And it's terrible. It sucks. But, you know, there's other things that they could have done, like fucking cover Mike Williams, somehow get Benjamin St. Juste to go take one of those fucking D.C. tours during the afternoon so that he can not be anywhere near the stadium. But it's a hard one to absorb because it was there. It was right there. Please, somebody. Pick it up. Jesse, what do you think?
I hate to, I don't like ever putting games on refs, even though the refs did calls us a chance to win at the end. But there was mistakes in this game, simple, dumbass mistakes by this team. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen so many fucking drops. I mean, we should have had 40 points on this fucking team.
I think
there were so many drops.
Yeah,
I'm talking about easy fucking.
Easy
throws.
Fucking drops 2 punts.
That's besides that. I'm talking about actual wide receivers and tight ends dropping.
Noah Brown at the end of the game there. That ball went right. It was not a good pass. I mean, but at the same time, both hands on the ball went right through, hit him in the shoulder.
I thought that was Jaden's worst game by far.
Yeah, I think what I said earlier in the game was that you see the Steelers, they're making him look like a rookie finally. Somebody's finally made him look like a rookie who's...
I don't think that.
I think they threw shit at him that he wasn't maybe necessarily quite ready to handle at the speed that it came at him.
He was
I just think this is a very good defense. I thought it was a very good defense we went up against, and with the injuries that we've had, we couldn't cope with it.
Right.
Coleman was poor. Trent Scott wasn't very good. I mean, how many people have put more than 2 sacks on Jaden in the entire NFL so far?
I don't think that defense played that good, to be honest with you. Like I said, we should have had over 35 points in that game.
They blitzed the shit out of him, and they blitzed us in run too.
Jaden, I think if I remember correctly, Jaden was the number 1 passer against the blitz up until
today. Because they were the difference I think was they were getting home, and not only that, but I think that their coverage downfield was giving him fits. So there were a lot of times I think that Jaden ate the ball or took a dump off that he could have taken, or there was a couple of times he just threw it in the dirt, which, as much as you hate to say it on a play like that, but that's a positive. He's not going to try to overdo it and force something that's going to get taken away from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I get you.
I definitely agree with you, though, Jesse. I think he played his worst game today, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. He's not, Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I just thought that there was opportunities missed in this game.
Yeah.
Defensively, offensively. I mean, McCaffrey had balls jumping, bouncing all over the spot. So did Zach Ertz. No one seemed to be able to catch passes today.
No.
Which is just, apart from Terry. Terry's the only one who could catch passes. We got lucky on a few times as well, and I thought, when you're picking up a fumble on the 1 yard line, it is your day. You're like, you know what, this is our day.
we forced that fumble. You know what I mean?
I know.
They went in there. They were. That's what I'd say. They were swarming to the ball today. I did like that. They're aggressive.
I agree.
They were aggressive. Didn't I say this when we were watching the game? I seem to remember, like, within the last year and a half, we've done that like 4 times. Just take the ball from somebody at the 1-yard line. We did it to the Eagles. We did it to the Bears.
Falcons.
The Falcons. So, yeah, I usually when the team's at the 1-yard line, you're like, they're going to score. But with the Commanders, you're not sure, man. We might get something lucky there. But we couldn't turn it into anything. I think that when you talk about the referees, look, I think they gave us a bad spot with Zach Ertz. I think that probably could have been a first down.
100% that was a first down.
I think that
I don't understand how you could say it's not a first down. He clearly caught the ball over that fucking line. And line was on point. You saw where the flags are. It was right on the 41-yard line. It wasn't right. It's not rocket science, man. You could clearly see that shit. We got screwed there.
And they say that, because he came down on his knee and didn't get touched, but I still think that he was leaning back far enough that the ball's point. The problem is that the fucking referee came in and gave it a bad spot to begin with. So the play called on the field was already terrible, and they didn't really have a whole lot there to be able to see in those reviews to be able to say, okay. But you're right, man. They had drops today. There were a couple of passes I thought that they had caught, but no, they dropped it and it bounced right up back into their gut. And Zach Ertz had one down inside like the 20-yard line. I thought, hey, we got one. And no, turn around, we look at it at another angle. He dropped the damn ball. I'm not sure what the hell was up with all of that today. Any thoughts on that, Scott? Why we were dropping passes today?
No idea, and I don't know if it was because in the first half it looked like Jaden couldn't set his feet, and that he was being hurried for the first time in a long time. He was being hurried. He didn't have the time to sit back and not saying it's relaxing, but I mean, look at the statistics. He had 3 yards rushing in the first half. When is that's not a good day.
Well, there were a couple of times I thought that it opened up and he saw it and he was ready to get it and somebody just got him at the last second. Shoestringed him, something like that. And it was like, oh, for what could have been. There were a couple of plays that we had that were for like what could have been, but. So, Jesse.
It's just a tough loss, man. It's a really tough loss.
We don't really have any segments for this show. This show's just kind of a mashup of shit. So, somebody just take it off my hands and fucking talk about whatever you want. We'll follow you.
I'm fuming, man. I just want to go home and beat the shit out of my dog. Just kidding. Fucking A, man. That game irritated me. Losing to Baltimore, although, I was really pissed off because of the defense. I thought the defense played well enough today to win, even though we're still getting fucking run over and dumb mistakes. Johnny Newton and hopefully Marshawn Lattimore can come back. It will come. Otherwise, we're going to be in for a really long day on Thursday night. But just the dumb mistakes. I mean, catch the fucking ball, man. That's all you had to do was catch the ball. One of those drop passes would have probably led to a victory.
I would say so. I mean, Zach Ertz had the ball down inside the 20 and dropped it. The pass to Noah Brown there at the end that he dropped would have definitely gotten us a first down when we needed it.
But it was also, John, stupid play calls at times as well. Like, what the hell was the play call to Diami Brown about when it looked like he was going to try to throw it?
They need to rip that out of the playbook.
Usually it works, that little tunnel screen that he does, it'll work just fine.
And
but he didn't run it up. He just fucking started running around behind the line of scrimmage with his hand out as if he couldn't have a bigger fuck up than the drop pass in the end zone that he had.
I mean, the people know that play now. You got to change it up some, Yeah.
Right.
If they see Diami Brown on the field,
they did. Chances
are that's going to be a goddamn
mistake.
Screen.
They did change it up. This time it lost 15 yards instead of gain us 20 yards or whatever he usually gets. I thought Terry had a couple of nice plays. Terry had some nice plays.
We had a double-digit lead in the second half, and we squandered it.
Yep, lost it.
That is not good.
It's not good. So I know you guys are doom and gloom. Jesse's always ready to jump off the well, I better not say it.
And John, there's video evidence, all over this place about this fucking Ertz goddamn I mean, where the
It was they marked it
refs-
way short.
yeah, they marked it like a yard and a half short of where he fucking called it.
Yeah, I was yelling on while we're sitting here
surely,
watching.
though, that I know Quinn was pointing, going, "Look, you need to booth review that because
Right.
it's inside the 2 minutes." But even if New York gets involved and booth reviews it, why is the spot not challenged there?
Well, because for
you
one,
can't challenge it inside 2 minutes. Everything comes from upstairs.
it comes from above, and the problem
Well,
with
if it comes
is
from above, why can't they get that spot right?
because they can't see it. There's not enough camera angles to
There's
be able to
supposed
see
be a
it.
chip in the ball, but they stopped using. They only used it for fucking preseason games. Timothy said we need another receiver bad, and I'm going to have to disagree with this.
They
we
need to catch the ball.
target Luke McCaffrey more.
He needs to catch the ball.
Well, he needs
Luke
to catch
McCaffrey's
it
not
first.
the one that's dropping them.
He dropped
He
one
did.
that was dead
He
in his
did. It was
hands.
dead
He
in
dropped
his
one
hands.
dead in his hands.
straight through the
Yeah.
center.
Yeah,
He
he
couldn't
did.
have hit him. He couldn't have hit him better.
Are you
It was
sure that
it was
wasn't
inside the
no,
nose?
that was him.
Zacchaeus?
12.
No, that was-
12.
It was
12.
him. He was white. We know who it was. So yeah, they just had a bad day all around. And Zacchaeus with 2 muff punts, man. That's just. It was just everything about today was just kind of off a little bit. And I mean, you have to give credit to the Steelers. They are the number 1 defense. They did do things that I'm sure. And I mean, look, their blitzes were getting in there fast. And Jaden isn't used to being that rushed. Jaden's used to being able to take on that blitz, make a little move, get some daylight, and be able to make a play. And they just weren't giving it to him because there's 3 and 4 guys that are breaking through and coming after him. So when you said something about him setting his feet, it was more like he was trying to – he didn't set his feet and then throw. It was like he was doing it all in the same motion. So his feet weren't quite set when the shoulders started coming forward, and the balls were a little inaccurate, I thought. But they had chances.
The other thing as well there, John, you were to Jesse's point on yesterday's show, Friday's show, we reviewed the ref and we had a look at the penalties and the amount of flags that this ref calls, an average of 13 per game. Mm-hmm. He was well on top of that today. You
16.
know what I mean? Well on top of that today.
He did call a bunch
flags.
of them against the Steelers. I'll give him that. So,
Yeah, and rightfully so. But, I mean,
Yeah.
here's another opportunity. I mean, I'm not going to say that the refs screwed us, but the refs were terrible today. I mean, how on earth was it not a face mask on Benjamin St. Juice, or at least hands to the face?
Oh, yeah. Well, because of your offense. And you're not supposed – he'll get fined, but who gives a fuck? If that's not a 15-yard penalty, then what is? If you're talking about safety, NFL,
Correct.
Then what the fuck is he? I mean, he's just basically grabbed him by the face mask and shoved his head back as far as fast as he can. He targeted it to do that too. So I mean, I've seen running backs and everybody like that go ahead and try to punch him in the face. I got no problem with it. But when you hold on to it like that and then shove it like that, that's got to be a penalty. It's one thing to get it and let it go, or shove and let it go, but. That was crazy.
This one's gonna sting for a while, but they need to make sure that they are on top of it and they put it to bed, which I will probably do tonight or chew over it, and then tomorrow I'll be like, right, it's back on, it's onto Philly, and they just got to get. It's a short week, man. They've got to get out there and hope to God that we play better against Philly.
Well, let's hope Philly loses tonight.
Well, they're not at the moment.
Anything can happen.
They're not at the moment.
They're not losing.
That's the way it goes. All right. Well, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of tapped out as to what to talk about during the game there. Obviously, this is why we brought in Marshawn Lattimore. Fucking Benjamin St. Just, for all these people that this week tried to make excuses for him about how he's not playing his proper position and about how what the fuck ever. All right? Whatever. He is a big, fat target when he's on the field. I guarantee you, that touchdown that he threw to Williams in the fourth quarter.
That's the one I was going at,
I know Russell Wilson throws a moon ball, but I'm telling you what, he closed his eyes and just said, there's 25, and just threw that fucking thing.
Yep.
Where's 25?
100%. That was we've called it. We've been saying it for weeks.
Right.
When you look at where 25 is on the field, that is where when you need a play, that is where you throw the ball to. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, that is where he threw the ball to. And then at the same time, St. Just did some good stuff. But I look at Mike Samerstill and I see what Mike Samerstill's doing on the outside, and he's going up and he's getting in between where the receiver is going to get the ball. He's looking for the ball. He can see it coming down. He's putting the hand up. Why is St. Just not doing that? He had an opportunity where he was on a play. You know as well as I do where I'm going with this. Yeah. He had an opportunity where he was like, look, I'm in good coverage here. I've got this. The ball's coming through. And he still couldn't get his hands in between.
He looked at the ball, stuck his hand up, and still missed it by a mile.
Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. As Coach Henry would say, Coach Simple would say, you're 6'3". You are 6'3". Oh, let's look at this dude here from Friday's show. Valid user comes in. Let's go Steelers.
Y'all got gifted the game, and you know it. You got gifted the game.
That was a tough game. It was a tough game.
Tough game. Both two good sides. No matter what you say, two good sides. But at the same time, that spot was awful. That was awful.
That's an awful spot.
And I'm not trying to say that we don't know where that's going to go. If you get a good spot there, we may do nothing with it.
If we get the first
you
down,
just hope for some competence.
We're getting in field goal range. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
You know what I always say? There's no way a referee costs anybody a game. Because if you say, okay, well, this is the play that cost us the game, well, no, I can show you 10 or 11 other plays where you could have had something better than you got.
Exactly.
But what you want when you say things like this, when we say things like this, isn't that, the referee cost us the game. But no, dude, at least be halfway accurate, all right? Yeah. At least act like you can't see it without your seeing eye dog. The dog could have pointed it out and said, oof, move it up a yard, because where he put it was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to this: the drops and that fucking spot. That's it.
Drops, the spot. There were times, and Scouse called it when we were watching the game together, that they're gonna lean on us. They're gonna do the Rigo drill on us, because we were all remarking about how big fucking Najee Harris runs
with 8 minutes to go. That's exactly what he said.
Right? Yeah. Well, it was about the beginning of the fourth quarter when they got the ball and they had that nice long drive, and that's what they did. The fortunate thing was we got the turnover at the goal line, because they were just going to Rigo drill us into the ground. So
you're absolutely right, valid user. They have the technology to get it right, and they still can't get it right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's other plays that you could make. Zach Ertz catches that ball down around the 20-yard line, right? But he doesn't.
If Jaden was on target when that seam to Luke right up the middle, Luke was gone. That was a touchdown. But
and it goes both ways.
Today, he was inaccurate today.
If Pittsburgh hits that fake field goal, who the fuck knows what? Or the fake punt, excuse me. Danny Smith. All right, for all of these people that have been out there that have known me forever on fucking Extreme Skins and all those sites, they know my history with Danny Smith. I hated that motherfucker when he was our special teams coach. I wanted him fired. I argued with probably you and you and you and you and the guy behind you back over there. I've probably argued with every one of you over that clown. And here he comes into this stadium, and I think that's what the problem is, because he's a good special teams coach anywhere but here. And he comes into this fucking stadium, and his brain just goes, and he decides, what the fuck, I'm going to run a fake punt at my own 5-yard line. Oh, he's the GOAT. Get out of here with Danny Smith, the GOAT. We had 6 kicks blocked in 1 year when he was our special teams coach. I couldn't wait to get him out of here. I'm glad he works out for you guys, but sometimes he was... And you see what happens. He gets in this stadium, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I said, valid user says, you know what, I noticed Jaden didn't run a lot today. And
good defense, that's why.
Yeah, I think that the lanes
he's gone up against something that he's not seen before. At the end of the day, everyone's saying, "Oh, he's not a rookie. He is technically still a rookie, and this is a defense that's number one in the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's the best red zone defense in the entire league as well. Mm-hmm. They played well. Both defenses, I thought, played well. We were running to the ball, as you said, John. We were stuffing it up the middle. Their run game, they couldn't get anything going either. You know what I mean? Realistically,
the second half, yeah.
I know what you mean. But when you're tired, you're tired. It's difficult to substitute and put new fresh faces in there. I think that our tackles cost us today.
Everybody knows it's because it's you. You need a nice fresh face to make a tackle. That's what you need. I thought both defenses played well, and both defenses also gave some stuff up. I like, we've had this running argument here about whether or not Terry is elite. And I think that there was a couple of plays today where he took another 2 little baby steps towards that status.
Agreed.
Yeah, that catch he made over on the sidelines was fucking beautiful.
He looked very good today.
So congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hope everybody gets out of the stadium safely. Nobody gets in any fights or anything stupid like that. And we'll see y'all tomorrow at 5:30 here on the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast. Right here live. We will have some stuff to talk about. We'll have some fun. to go along with this game. I kept looking at Russell Wilson, and I feel like an ass watcher, but I was watching his ass today. Because I wanted to see if we could knock some dookie out of him. That dude, he has this kind of weird thing about controlling how often he defecates.
Wow.
He's weird that way. So I wanted to see if we could get in there and fucking knock him one time and make him just drop a Hershey's Kiss. So all right, we will see everybody tomorrow evening at 5:30 right here for the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. I'm John. That's Jesse. And Jesse hasn't had much to say this game. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably looking up stats and shit, trying to make himself feel bad. Yeah, he's just pissed off because
it's hopeless. We'll never make it. Never. We're done for.
Let me see if I can find something here. I did find this today. We're going to use this when we talk about the Cowboys. Here we go. Here's Bobby the Cowboy. Hang on a second. It's got a process. So for all of you people that have hung around to see what Bobby the Cowboy looks like, you've seen Bobby the Cowboy before. And here he is.
Goes together.
Holy shit! Oh,
Bobby, stop! Bobby, stop! With you?
So there you go. We'll play with
That's
Bobby
Cooper Rush in the
time.
fourth quarter tonight.
Cooper Rush in the fourth quarter tonight.
Exactly.
Right.
Nailed it.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 5:30 when we'll feel a little bit better about this game. And we'll come up with something to talk about, that's for sure. Thanks for everybody stopping on through and saying hey. I hope everybody had a good time at the game today, even though it didn't come out our way. And, hey, man, fuck Philadelphia. So this week we will be on tomorrow night at 5:30. We will be on again Wednesday evening at 5:30. The 1 Point Safety Show will be 3 o'clock on Thursday to get you revved up for the game. Then we will be back Friday again for our post game. Then we'll be back again Saturday to be able to pick some NFL football games and fuck you the Falcons for screwing up my parlay today. And then we're taking a break for a couple of days because I need to see my wife. Go say hi. All right. So for everybody, remember what Bobby said. And we will see you next time on the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast.